Hey guys, welcome to M&MM IELTS. Today's video is also a study plan video for your listening section. So we've been making study plan for every single section. We've done it for speaking, we've done it for writing, we've done it for reading, and today is for listening. So the reason I also wanted to make a study plan for listening section is because I've seen a lot of students, they really don't take listening that seriously, because I agree that listening is not as difficult as your writing, as your reading or speaking. But yes, it is not that difficult, but still it is a section that I would take it in another way. I would take listening as a scoring section. Because it is not that difficult, I would work really hard on it and try to get 9 bands so that I can boost my overall band score. Because if your desired score is 8 overall, 7 overall, and if you get a 9 in listening section, which is possible if you work hard, then that will ultimately help you to achieve your overall band of 8 or 7, whatever your desired band score is. So please make sure that you do practice listening as well. You may practice other sections more compared to listening, but if you consistently practice listening and take it seriously at the same time, you will end up getting a 9 band, or a good band I would say, and that will you will realize when you get your scores that I did a good thing by practicing listening, and that actually helped me a lot. So I'll be sharing 2 steps, just 2 easy steps that you have to follow as a part of your listening study plan so that you can achieve your desired score. The first things first, we have to have a target of 9 band, a full score of 40 out of 40. We should have a target that we will not make a single mistake. That's how you will achieve your score. So the first thing I would suggest is practice Cambridge IELTS practice tests. So there are several books out there, and every book has several tests in them. Make sure you finish as many books as possible for Cambridge IELTS, and whenever you pick up a book, first finish all the tests for that book, then go to the next book, finish all the tests for that book, then go to the next book, finish all the tests for that book. So let's say if you're starting in the reverse order, if you want to start with book number 15 first, then go to 14, then go to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So you can always go in the reverse order if you like, and finish all the practice tests. So that, and if you just finish all the practice tests of your IELTS Cambridge, whatever number of tests you have in all those books, that is more than enough for you to focus on your listening and get your listening band score. You don't need to Google anything else. You don't need to go out and search for any other material. Cambridge IELTS books and practice papers are more than sufficient. Just finish as many as you can and do it every day. Let's say you're starting with the book number 15 today, so then make sure that in next, like today and tomorrow, you finish all the tests in book number 15, all the listening tests, so that you can go to the book number 14 after 2 days. So do this for at least 2 weeks, and you will see that you are in a position of getting 8 to 9 bands in listening. And why not? Why not? You can definitely get a 9 band in listening, and then you will realize that I did a good thing by finishing all these papers, and that is actually helping me to get a full score 40 out of 40 in listening. And it will also boost your confidence, which is very important, because it's always easy to get some confidence easily in the easy sections. In like listening is a section where you can get that confidence. So please make sure you follow this and you practice it every single day. Now when you practice these books and these test papers, you will notice a pattern. What I'm trying to say over here is, when you make mistakes, make a box or highlight the mistakes that you're making. And after you finish the paper and you proofread and you look at the answers from the sample answers that have been given to you, notice the pattern of your mistakes. Track your pattern, as in look at the sections you're making mistakes. You have section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4 in listening. All the sections have 10 questions each, which is 40 questions in total. Now, let's say you're doing paper number 1 and 2 today, right now in the morning. See what section are you making maximum mistakes. Let's say you're making maximum mistakes in section 3 or section 4. Then what you will do is, after 2 to 3 test papers that you have solved, focus more on section 3 and section 4 for the remaining books that you will be practicing. If you're not making any mistakes in section 1 and 2, then you can reduce the practice for the number of questions for section 1 and 2 and increase the number of questions for section 3 and 4. So practice the sections where you're making more mistakes, and the sections where you're making no mistakes or very less mistakes compared to the other sections, you can practice them in a reduced number, but you will never stop practicing. Let's say you're making no mistakes in section 1 whatsoever. You will never stop practicing it. At least do one test paper which has section 1 in one day, so that you don't lose that grip, you don't lose your command over that section. But having said that, at the same time, you have now realized, because you're practicing those Cambridge papers every day and all the different tests, you have realized that, okay, section 4 is maybe where I'm making more mistakes. Always start with section 4. First things first, get the difficult thing out of your way. So first finish that part and then go to section 3, then go to section 2. And if you want, you can do the sections where you're making no mistakes. If you follow this pattern for listening, if you write down everything in your notebook, a little old school I would say, write down everything, write down the mistakes you're making, remind yourself, section 3 I'm making mistakes, section 4 is where I've made mistakes. Repeat those things and see the impact. So that is the reason I wanted to make this short, nice, to the point, brief video about how should your study plan for listening section look like. If you follow this for 2 weeks, this pattern, I am 100% sure that you will be in a much better position for your listening. You will definitely be able to get a band 9, but you have to make sure that there is no gap and you at least follow this pattern for 2 weeks so that you can finish all those Cambridge books with all those test papers and finish listening section for every single test paper that you have in those books, and you will nail it in the exam. All the very best.